Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Fully Electric and I'm going to try to keep this video under 10 minutes. Well, at least 10-15 minutes max. I'm really trying to make it real quick. All right, so someone asked in the comments about what I was doing before, because years ago, how I got the miner, the 240 volt miner, to run on 120 volt. And I did that back in 2021. Did it back when I had the S17s and so forth, and I basically ran them on 120 volt. This is before any of those little adapters you put inside the newer miners nowadays and modifying the power supplies to support 120 volt, or converting the miners and tricking the system and so forth. This is well before that. So the way I did it was I simply purchased a transformer. And this transformer is a 120 volt to 240 volt split phase transformer. I bought a 5,000 watt version. I recently purchased another one because the other one I have is actually at the farm, a different location right now. And I'm planning to keep this one here for other kind of testing. And basically, without any modification to the software, the older miner, like this particular one here, is a Gold Shell LT5 Pro. It's basically a script miner that does, I think it's 2.5 gigahash on script at 3,500 watts. Yeah, this standard miner pull 3,500 watts. Actually, usually it's 36, 37. It's crazy when it gets hot. Anyway, so let's speed this up. I'm going to try to, again, make this real quick. So a couple of things I do want to talk about this transformer here. If you want to run a transformer continuously and don't have it overheat, you have to get a transformer that's going to be significantly larger than the amount of wattage you're going to continuously pull. So this is a 5,000 watt unit. And this is a 3,500 watt miner. Now, obviously, from a 120 volt outlet, you can't really get 3,500 watts. So you have to keep your wattage, 80 percentile rule still applies. And so if you keep it down to 12, 1,300 watts, 14, you will be perfectly fine. With that said, this comes with 4 hashboards. I removed the cable from 3 of them. So if you do the math from 3,500 to divided by 4, that's around 875 watts, right? So with one hashboard around 875 watts, plus you have to have the fans and other stuff, so it may get up to like 900, 950 or 9 something, right? So it's in the ballpark. So this will be in the ballpark around 9 something to 1,000. Anyway, with that said, that means the transformer here being 5,000, it's significantly, it's not going to pull a sweat. Now, if you do buy a smaller transformer, which I did for another project, I had to also add a I had to also add a fan, an AC fan, and I connect the AC fan connection in the back to keep that fan running altogether. And I wouldn't suggest doing that way, so let me not even talk about doing that. It can work, but you need to keep the transformer cool and so forth. And the reason why I went with a smaller one was a smaller enclosure system setup I was building and trying to have everything in a compact way. It's just better just get the much bigger one and don't deal with adding or modifying the transformer altogether. All right, so let me connect this. Basically, a couple of things. I had to, I didn't buy the cable. This is a NEMA 515P. So the P is basically, you know, the pins, I guess. And and this is a C19 connector here. So you can basically buy these kind of cables from Amazon already pre-made. I actually just made mine, no worries, and it plugs into the C20 here port that's on the miner. And just to show you real quick the specs on the miner and the voltage, because people may not even have this unit anymore. As you can see, it's 180 volt to 280 volt as the input. The minimum is 180. So you basically need a 240 volt input to make this power supply even turn on. So that's where we come in. And again, this unit. I was running, of course, on the S17s, but back in the day, it does work on the S19s, which I also had it on the S19 as well. But then I modified the power supply on the S19 to support 120 volt directly, so I didn't need this anymore. You also, it also works on basically anything that takes 240 volts. So you can plug in your S21 or S23s and inside here. Just the main thing that you have to do is you have to disconnect the hashboard. This is part of the video that makes it goes long, but I'm gonna open this real quick. Okay, I just removed that screw right there to save on time, and what I want to show you here is that as I said, I disconnected, this has 4 hashboards. Hashboard 0 is still remaining connected, and 1, 2, and 3 is disconnected. So no matter what, it can only pull so much wattage, and that's basically what you have to do with your S21, S23, whatever miner in the future that comes out. You have to remove, leave one hashboard connected. And that will usually be under 1200 watts, 1400 watts, and so forth. So it will able to support on a 1 to 20 volt, and all the other ones you can remove. With the newer miners, though, you do have to put third-party software, because the miner will not operate with one hashboard anymore. So these are not the early S19 days or S17 days where you can operate with one hashboard and so forth. All right, so let me button this back up and be right back. All right, love this little thing. Very, very small power screwdriver. Really neat. Everyone should have one of these. Okay, so let's turn on this transformer here. And before we do, just quickly, this particular one, you got to make sure your input is set to the 120 volt input. If you go to Europe or somewhere you're traveling and you want to put it on the 240 to get 120 output, you can go ahead and do so. But in this case, North America, because you just want to convert your 120 volt to 240 volt, you make sure the input is set to the 120 volt, and that's it. Okay, now let's plug the power here in. Okay, and let's turn it on. All right. Oh, yes, I have it on a meter plug, so I got to turn on the meter plug. Hit that right now. There you go. All right, actually, let me just show you my setup real quick. That guy that's plugged in there basically is connected in this guy, and that's my TP link that gives me basically Wi-Fi to Ethernet, so I can connect with that. And that's the meter plug I was referring to, so I had to turn that on to make this come on. One of the reasons why I have it on a meter plug, just going to show you the amount of energy it's pulling. And let's just, I got a multimeter here, and I'm trying to go quickly because I don't know how Red Panda does these videos and make them real fast. But I'm going to have this sit here, put this down so you can see the numbers just fine and out of my hand. And try and get my hand out of the way. And okay, basically save on time. See here, this is what extend the videos all the time. So this is a universal receptacle. So if you ever see these receptacle looking all strange and weird, you guys looking at it, don't be feared. They're just universal receptacle, and that's basically what they're called. It means a lot of different type of connectors can actually go in there. In North America, what we want is split phase 240 volt output. So to verify split phase 240 volt output, you can then measure the load across L1 and L2 to make sure you do get the voltage across the two, the voltage across the two to basically to get your 240 volt output. And then if you want to see your 120 or 115 volt, you go between a load and the ground. So right now, let's do that right now with the two loads, and you see that you were getting 230, 235 volts on the output. Then on with a ground, you get 115, 118, whatever, fluctuating. Then on the ground with the other load, it's basically similar thing. But with the two loads together, that's what's called split phase. With the European, just the ground, which is usually on this side, and this is then a single phase 240 volt, and just the one load line gives you the 240 volt. All right, so let's get out of here real quick with that. let's go real quick. I'm gonna basically do a connection real quick and plug this in here, one in here, and again that's your NEMA 515, and going with your C19 into your C20, and connect this here nice and firm. Oh, don't forget the network plug. Red Panda always do. I can't do that. All right, so that's good. Oh, turn this back up here so you could see what I'm seeing. And then the 1, 2, 3, turn it on. All right, it's gonna get noisy, so I'm going to probably move from this location, but we'll just let it boot up. The fact that it's starting up shows that the 240 volt output is working. And again, you need to buy a much bigger transformer than what you really need, so your transformer do not overheat if you're running it continuously 24/7. All right, so let that boots up and let's go to the computer. Sorry, it's gonna be a bit noisy here. I just have the laptop on the ground. So on the computer, basically, I just went to find GoShell.com. I'm using a GoShell miner for this demonstration. And when you do that, it will find whatever is on the same network as the miner. So as you click it, it's still booting up here. Oh, okay, we got hash rate here. So look like it's already started. It was on for 2 minutes. And this is what I'm referring to. The first hashboard is 0, and it's the one that's remained connected. Getting around 500 right now, 580. And the other 3 I disconnected. You gotta remember, whenever trying to run a large miner 24/7 continuously on 120 volt, you have to actually disconnect the hashboards, okay? Leave only one hashboard connected, and that's basically it. Okay, this video is getting a little bit too long, but let me quickly show you here. I paused for a few minutes just to make it have some more time to create a graph. The hash rate up here, I'm not sure if you can see this, it's at 616. We're going to check on the pool. It should be going to Mining Dutch right now. So let me just head over to Mining Dutch. And okay, oh yeah, I logged in before I turned this on, so let me see if I refresh this page, it should come online. Here we go. So here it is, the LP5 Pro 120 volt. I do solar mining with these miners, and I'm in the multi-port solar mining, so it, you know, it works nicely. All right, so as you can see, that's basically how I was able to get the larger miner years ago to operate on 120 volt. I simply use a transformer, and you don't need anything. Back then, you were able to run one hashboard and a controller without no third-party software and a transformer, and keep everything the same, and it will work just fine. The newer miners, the later model S19K Pros and the S21s and up, you have to run a third-party software to do the same, and so forth. And by that time, you can also just switch out the power supply to a 120 volt power supply. But this is how I was able to keep everything stock and accomplish the same thing. Okay, now let me quickly switch over to the laptop and show you how much power it's drawing. Okay, so on the iPad here, I have my meter I showed you earlier. I just click here and go to power, and right now it's showing it's pulling over 1,000 watts. So 1,015. It will cool down to around 950 and 920. But initially when it starts up, the fans ramped up very high, and they use a little bit more power, and maybe there's a slight tuning going on with the GoShell software. But it should hover down around a little over 900. Let's see if you have to go out. Sometimes it doesn't update real fast. So do this real quick. Go out, go back in, then click over, and then you can see it's changing. All right, well, that's about it. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. And again, Get a transformer if you want to run it continuously, much bigger than what you need. I would say suggest a 5,000 watt because you do not need to add an additional cooling fan inside here, and you can run it 24/7 continuously at around 1400 watts. I've done 1450 with zero issues, no overheating or anything, at least with this model anyway. Alright guys, see you guys on the next one.